Woodlands family. My name is Tim Williams. I'm the principal of Woodlands Elementary School here in town, and we have certainly been missing our students, and we are anxious to get back to in-person learning in the fall. Wanted to take just a few minutes to introduce our Return to Learn plan, our plan of being able to keep students safe and healthy while also maximizing learning in the classroom. So wanted to take just a few minutes to let you know some of the precautions that we are taking, some of the procedures that we are altering a little bit so that we can make sure and have a great school year. One of the big questions is face coverings. Face coverings are not going to be required all day long, but there will be times when students will need to wear face coverings in their classroom and other places that may be designated. We may designate certain areas as face covering zones. So students do need to have a face mask that they bring with them or a face covering that they bring with them to school so that that is available. Also, hand sanitizing. Students will be washing and sanitizing their hands numerous times throughout the day. Also, just general hygiene. We will be encouraging everyone to refrain from touching their faces. We're going to try to keep from touching each other and do greetings such as air high fives and waves and things like that to celebrate with one another, but at the same time keeping some physical distance. When students arrive in the morning at 7:35, students that go to breakfast will go down to the cafeteria. In a minute, I will be telling you about the different areas that each grade will be lining up before school. And the students that eat breakfast at the school, they will line up with their grades and then will enter the cafeteria a grade at a time to eat breakfast. The doors to the school open at 7:45. We encourage students not to arrive before 7:45, but understand that there are times when they must. Also, some of our buses arrive before 7:30 even, and so we understand that some students do have to arrive early. At 7:30, outside student supervision will begin, just like it has in the past. When students arrive, if they arrive before 7:45, there will be a designated space for each grade to line up. And we'll be displaying the diagram. We'll also be publishing that on Facebook. But if you stand at the front of the school looking toward the main entrance, under the awning on the east end of the building will be our first grade and kindergarten classes will line up there. We'll be using the cracks that are already sawn into the sidewalk for lines to help us with social distancing. Second and third grades will be lining up on the big sidewalk, the main sidewalk that heads into the front doors. Fourth and fifth grades will be lining up on the sidewalk that goes from that main sidewalk over to the west parking lot. And so students will gather in those areas by grade using the lines on the concrete for social distancing. When 7:45 comes, teachers will come outside to retrieve their classes and to lead them inside. And we have every grade will be going into a different entrance to keep us separated. Kindergarten will be going inside the exterior door that goes to Miss Courtney's classroom. First grade will be going into the exterior door that goes into Mrs. James' classroom. Second grade will be going around the back of the building. Remember, their teacher will be with them. They will be going around the back of the building into the west entrance of the north wing of the building that comes in right by the second grade classrooms. The third grade will be going around the east side of the building and going into the door that comes right into the third grade classes. Fourth grade will be coming in the main entrance. Fifth grade will be coming in the parking lot door. After classes have gone in at 7:45 until 8 o'clock, all grades will continue to go in those separate entrances. The exception to that is second and third grade, because we do not want our second and third graders heading around the outside, the far exteriors of the school, and around the back of the school by themselves. So they will be going in the main entrances. Second and third grade will be doing that. On bad weather days, students will be coming in their grade entrances and be sitting in the halls with social distancing until it is time to go to their classrooms. At 8 o'clock, all students will enter through the main entrance of the school. And at that point, all of the other entrances will be locked and secured. At 8:05, the second set of doors into the building at the main entrance will be secured as well. Keep in mind that during those arrival to school times, the outside of the school will be very well supervised by staff and teachers to make sure that all of our students get to the right places and are safe while they're waiting to come into the building. Students' temperatures will be checked either as they're coming into the building or as they are going into their classrooms. That will be a daily thing. Staff will be self-checking their temperatures before they come to work. Anyone who has a temperature of 100 degrees or higher will be sent home if they arrive at school with that. So we ask that if your student has a temperature of more than 100 degrees or more, that you keep them home that day and just call the school and let us know why. If a student is found to have a temperature during the day, either when they arrive or throughout the day, they will be taken to the nurses station in our office. We'll be using that as our isolation room until parents can arrive to take students home. That room has a window that opens to the office, so they'd be well supervised while they're waiting for their ride to come. At the end of the day, if you have been at Woodlands before, you are somewhat familiar with the indoor dismissal procedure that we use when we have bad weather. We plan to use indoor dismissal every day for this school year. So that will begin at 3 o'clock. Our school day officially ends at 3:15, but indoor dismissal will begin at 3 o'clock. This year, we will be issuing every parent a sign to put in their car window, or if you walk up to pick up your students, to hold as you come with your student's name so that staff can radio to their classrooms for those students to come out to the ride. We will also be designating other times for students that ride the daycare vans, that are walkers or bikers, or that meet their parents at alternative locations, or for our bus riders to go to their specific places as well. All exits will be spread out. We'll be doing all exits through the main entrance of the school. Assemblies are a big part of life at Woodlands, especially our Monday morning celebration assembly and our Friday morning class-led assemblies. We will not be doing any of our assemblies in the gym this year. Those will all be on Facebook Live. So Mondays and Fridays, those assemblies will be on our Facebook page on Facebook Live. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we'll just do on the intercom like we do frequently throughout the school year anyway. Also, if we have special guests or other special assemblies, we will be doing those on Facebook Live as well, encouraging parents to join in and be able to see their students get Student of the Week, Wildcat of the Week, celebrate their birthdays, receive awards, or whatever else is going on. One of the big questions people have had is, how are we going to be doing meals? At Woodlands, we plan to eat all of our meals in the cafeteria. We will be operating the cafeteria at 50% capacity. Breakfast students will be eating breakfast in the cafeteria. Instead of using half of the cafeteria like we typically do, we will use the full cafeteria so that we can spread students out. Also at lunch, in the past, we are accustomed to having 2 lunch times, one for kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, another lunch time for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades. This year, we are going to do 3 shorter lunch times, so we will have a kindergarten and 1st lunch time, a 2nd and 3rd grade lunch time, and a 3rd and 4th grade lunch time. Again, there will be social distance. We can seat 2 grades in our cafeteria at 50% capacity. So every other seat will be empty, and no student will be sitting directly across from another student as they eat their meals. Watch for information from child nutrition regarding menus as well. When students come into the cafeteria, instead of waiting in line to get their meals, they will sit in their assigned spot in the cafeteria, and then they will be called a table at a time to go through the line to pick up their food and come back to eat. Recess is always a big deal at Woodlands. We love recess. And so we have worked real hard to come up with a plan to be able to have recess while at the same time following all the safety guidelines that we need to follow. And so we are dividing up our playground area into 3 zones. Zone 1 is the kindergarten playground and the black-topped area on the east end of the building. Zone 2 is the sandbox, the soccer field, and the kickball field. Zone 3 is what we call the big toy and the blacktop area behind the school. Each day, grades will be assigned which area of the playground to use. So for example, one day, kindergarten and first grade may be assigned the Zone 1, the kindergarten playground, and the blacktop on the east end of the building as their area for recesses that day. Now, even though those two grades will be using the playground, they will not be out there at the same time. Classes will be on the playground individually, one grade at a time, with time in between. Also, the playground will be sanitized and the equipment will be sanitized per district protocol on a regular basis throughout the day. Also, we're blessed at Woodlands to have numerous other outdoor areas that are available. Our school backs up to a park that has lots of areas to play, has another playground. We have the front lawn of the school. We are right across the street from the Marlin Mansion. We have our walking track. So in addition to those 3 zones, teachers will have options of using those other areas as well. As much as we try, it would be impossible to keep students from sometimes having to use the same materials. So we plan to have students not sharing materials or supplies throughout the day, but on the occasion that it is necessary, those supplies will be sanitized between uses. Our regular hallway procedures are in place. We make sure that there is no furniture in the hallways so that there's no furniture to have to go out and around. Also, our schedules are arranged to minimize the number of classes that have to be in the hall at the same time. That will cut down on hallway traffic and make sure that there are fewer people in the halls at any given time. Office procedures. There will be sneeze guards in place for both of our office assistants, so when you come into the office, you will see those. Also, our guests are encouraged to wear face coverings when they have to come into the office. If you do have to come to the school, we will have you use the intercom that's in the lobby or give the office a call from the lobby and tell us the nature of your visit. If you just need to drop something off, we'll let you in the office just briefly to drop something off to us. If you need to pick up a student, we will call for that student and we will have them come out and meet you and we will sign them out for you. If you need to speak with a staff member, we encourage you to make those appointments and to have those meetings by phone, by Zoom, by FaceTime, or other means, if at all possible. If we do need to have a face-to-face meeting, we'll make sure the groups are small and that they are in large areas so that we can do social distancing during the meeting. If you do have a student to pick up during the day, if you'll come to the front of the school, let the office know who you need to pick up. We will call for them and have the students come meet you, and we will sign them out. When you return a student to school after a doctor's appointment or whatever you needed to go do, we ask you to not come in the building at all. Just park in the loading zone, let your student out, call the school, let us know they're coming in, and please stay and make sure your student gets into the building. We will sign them in for you. If you park in the west parking lot to do that, please walk your student at least to the sidewalk there on the west end of the building and watch them safely into the building before you leave. Also, call us, let us know they're returning so that we're watching for them coming in those doors and we can sign them back in for you. Throughout the school day, students and staff will be accessing the office just as seldom as necessary to be able to carry out the business of their school day. Guests in the building. This year, unfortunately, parents and guardians will not be able to walk their students into their classroom at the beginning of the day. Unfortunately, that includes the first day of school. Classroom events, assemblies, and other activities will be on Zoom or Facebook Live as much as possible so that parents can participate from a distance. Classroom procedures. Social distancing will be in place as much as possible within the classrooms. Desks will be arranged in rows, spaced apart just as much as possible to allow for maximum social distancing in our classrooms. In the past several years, our kindergarten classes have used tables rather than desks. This year, they will be using the floor. They will still not be using desks, but they'll be using the floor so they can always spread out nicely throughout the classroom. In the classrooms, there may be areas or certain settings that are designated as face covering zones. An example would be for carpet time. The students are gathering together on the carpet for some direct instruction or to watch something on their Promethean board that may be designated as a face covering zone. Another option that there may be just a few students on the carpet and other students at their desks during those times. When students have to be pulled out for other services or interventions, those groups will be kept small. The areas will be sanitized between uses, and as much as possible, students from the same grade level or the next grade level will be together for those so that there aren't a lot of students from different areas of the building together at the same time. Specials, music, art, PE, and library, those events will be taking place in their regular classrooms. So music will take place in the music room, PE will take place in the gym, library in the library, and art in the art room. We have arranged our schedule to allow for the sanitizing those spaces between uses, and so that students are not coming in, so that one class is not coming into one of those while another class is going out. So we've put some extra space in our schedule to allow for that. Restrooms. We have 4 classrooms that have restrooms in their classroom, and those students will be using their in-classroom restrooms as much as possible. We will also be assigning restrooms to certain grades so that there's not a lot of different students using the same restrooms throughout the day. Also, the restrooms will be sanitized regularly throughout the day to make sure that everything is nice and clean. When school draws closer, how do you find out what class your student is in? This year, we are not going to be posting the class lists on the front windows of the school. Once your student is placed in a class, it will show up in PowerSchool, so you can access PowerSchool and see what class your student is in. Also, before school begins, your student's teacher will be in contact with you to introduce themselves, to let them know that your student will be in their class, and to tell you a little bit about their classroom. Also, each teacher will be making a brief video to post on Facebook, just a quick tour of their classroom so the students know a little bit about what to expect. Also, the first day of school, we will have staff stationed at many places around the building to help students make sure they find their classroom so that if they're not sure where to go, we can help them find the right spot. Parental involvement is a big deal at Woodlands. We love our parents, we love them to be around, and love for them to be involved. This year, we're not planning any in-school events for parents. There's not going to be any programs or anything like that right now. And we wish that was different, but that's the way it is this year. So we will not be doing a back-to-school night or a meet your teacher night this year like we typically do. Again, like I said, your teacher will be in contact with you about details for the first day of school for your student. For kindergarten, we are going to be doing an outdoor meet the teacher night. That is on August the 17th. That's Monday evening, 2 days before school starts. It will be from 4 to 6 o'clock, and it will be under the awnings on the east end of the building. So we want to be able to meet our kindergarten students. We want to be able to show them what door they will be going in, where to line up the first day, and for their teachers to get to meet them. And so you will see more information come out about that, but there will be a Meet the Teacher event for kindergarten students only, outdoors with social distancing. We typically have a procedure night and a Title I night and a first PTA meeting night. The procedure night and the PTA meeting, if they happen, will be on Zoom. The Title I meeting that we are required to have annually, that will be on Zoom. Be watching for dates and time for that. We want to keep our students hydrated throughout the day, and our drinking fountains will be open just to refill water bottles. So students will not be getting drinks from the water fountains, but they will be able to refill their water bottles. The school will be providing every student a disposable water bottle every week to use for water throughout the week. At the end of the week, we'll just throw it away and get a new one the next week. Some teachers may use a different plan, and they will let you know if they're using a different plan other than that. Lockers. At Woodlands, every student has a locker, or most of them actually share a locker. And so in the past, the lockers are designed for up to 4 students to use them. And so we're going to spread students out more than that this year. Our second and third graders, they have individual lockers, and so that's not an issue. For our other grades, we will be using 2 students to a locker with 1 student on each end of the locker. Also, the students will not be going to their locker at the beginning of the school day, but at the direction of their teacher as needed through the day. Lunch boxes will be kept in the lockers this year instead of in a common lunch basket to be taken to the cafeteria. We know that our parents are very important, and we work really hard to stay in good communication with our families. So this year more than ever, we want to stay in contact with you. So here are the ways that you can stay connected with Woodlands and make sure you don't miss out on important information or important dates. Make sure that you have downloaded the new PCPS app on your phone if you have that available. You may also sign up to follow Woodlands so we can send notifications to your phone. In addition to that, the Woodlands website is updated on a regular basis. The Woodlands Facebook page is called Woodlands Elementary PTA. If you are not a part of that, we encourage you to find us, to submit a request. We just ask that you let us know your student's name so that we know who is coming into the group. That way you can stay on top of events that are going on at the school through Facebook. In addition, every Wednesday, the FYI parent newsletter will continue to come home, along with other information from the school in the Wednesday Express folders. Our outdoor sign is always updated with new information of things that are coming up. So watch that as you're by the school so that you know what's going on there as well. So there's a lot of ways to find out what's going on at Woodlands. In addition, every teacher at Woodlands, every classroom teacher is using Class Dojo this year to communicate with their families. So your teacher will be letting you know how to sign up for that so that you can stay abreast of classroom activities and events and other information. We understand that these are trying times, and our students' emotional well-being is incredibly important. Relationships are very important, and we plan to do everything we can to get to know our students very well, to build solid relationships with them. A school-wide plan for social and emotional learning and development is being developed and implemented school-wide to help make sure that our students are healthy emotionally as well as physically. If you have special needs related to COVID-19, make sure you contact me so that we can work out arrangements that need to be in place for your student to make sure that they're safe and healthy throughout the school year. If we happen to have intermittent closures throughout the year, we will be ready to go very quickly to distance learning. We're prepared to distribute Chromebooks and hotspots to our students. They will be going to class every day, even if they are learning from home. They will be going virtually. Teachers will have assignments, there will be attendance, and work completion expectations in place. And so if that happens, we are ready to go. The online platforms that we will be using throughout the year, your students will be learning within the very first few days of school how to access those so that if they do have to do home learning or virtual learning, they can do it easily because they already know how to get onto the different platforms. How can you help? We want to all help each other. We want to be able to extend grace and patience to one another during these trying times, and the Woodlands family always does a great job of doing that anyway, and so we know that that will happen again this year. Another way that you can help is to review the printed, published Return to Learn plan that will come out along with this video. It has details that this video does not have. Also, if you would like to help with face coverings, we're asking every student to bring your own face coverings. We also want to have some extras just in case. And so if you wanted to provide some t-shirt material that's cut into 22 by 22 inch squares or 18 by 18 inch squares, that would help us out a lot. Also, if you want to help out with the water bottles that we will be using for our students, you're welcome to do that. The school does have funds for that, but for about $30 or for 350 bottles of water, you could sponsor the water for a week. So contact me if you'd like to be a part of that. Like I say, we have the funds for it, but if you'd like to help, that is available. Just a final note. There will be some elements of our plan that sound really good in meetings and on paper that when we get to the real thing, it doesn't work. And so we'll be flexible, and if we need to adjust areas of our plan as we go, we will. The safety and health of our students and staff is of utmost importance, so we want to follow procedures that are going to help make sure that Woodlands is a safe and healthy place for all of our students to learn. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. It's always a great day at Woodlands. Make today an awesome day. Thank you.